Joining us live here post-fight at Bellator 25. We are at Madison Square Garden's historic Chicago Theater here in downtown Chicago. The second time this year. First time in season 2, back in April, and again tonight here for Bellator 25. So we'll kick things off here in our post-fight press conference. We have our fighters from all of our Fox Sports Net televised fights. And joining us also Monica and Mercedes, the Bellator girls. Thank you. And we'll kick things off with opening comments from Bellator Fighting Championships CEO and founder Bjorn Rebney.
Thanks, Michael. With all the traveling we do, with all the different shows we do, it's great to be here in Chicago. Our offices are 4 blocks away from this location. We walk by this all the time when we go out to get a sandwich. And to have friends and family and all the people that work with us here is just, as Dan will start counting, magical. We always have an interesting time when we come to Chicago. It's a major market. You got a lot of different options in the Chicago market, but we're absolutely bound and determined to make a mark here and to as we build the brand, as the TV exposure continues and grows and expands, to make Chicago a home of ours. And we're going to figure out how to make that work. And we're going to figure out how to take the Chicago Theater and a spectacular alliance that we've got with Madison Square Garden and with this beautiful theater and turn it into a packed house. So we're getting better and better slowly but surely, and we'll eventually get there. Big thank you to the Madison Square Garden folks. They do an incredible job working hand in hand with us, and a big thank you to the Chicago Theater personnel. They do great work. To ub.net, ub.com, who have supported us every step of the way since we launched Bellator Fighting Championships, to Everlast, who are great partners to us, and of course to Fox Sports Network, where you can watch us live, and slowly but surely the distribution, the clearances are showing up. We're not getting bounced by baseball games and basketball games. You can typically watch us now 8 to 10 p.m. in prime time, which was something at this time last year that I couldn't say. So very happy about that. Everything on that front is going extremely well. In terms of the fights tonight, Zoila is not here. She had to go to the hospital to have a foot checked out. We are hoping against hope that it's not broken. Which, knock on wood, and I'm praying it's not, but if it were, it would be the first time that a fighter has won a fight for us in the tournament and not been able to continue. Hopefully we'll have some good news back from her very shortly. Zoila walks around at 135. We decided to do our tournament at 15. She ran into it with a spectacular knockout over Rosie Sexton that some of you may have seen out of our Louisville fight, which was our finale last season. And then Jessica Penney comes in and literally walks around after a big meal at 115, but the tournament was made at 115, and so Jessica came in, put on a spectacular show, gave a great effort, wasn't able to get Zoila to the ground where her strength lies, but either if she gets bigger and or we do a tournament at a lower weight class, I'm sure she'll be a tremendous force for us, and we'll continue to put on a great show. So I appreciate her coming out and putting on such a great show against probably the heaviest hitter in our women's division right now. So thank you, Jessica, for your performance. The last time we saw the gentleman, Dan Hornbuckle, who's sitting over to my right, he was on the losing end of a fight against Van Askren for the title in our second season. And when that fight ended, literally as I walked upstairs at Kansas City Power and Light, he looked at me and he said, "Get me in as tough as you can, as quick as you can." And a lot of times fighters will say that spur of the moment in terms of emotion, and they don't really mean it. When they have an opportunity to sit back and think about what they've said, or think about what's best for their career, or a manager gets in their ear, they sit back and they say, wait a minute, I'd like some easier music. This isn't part of the tournament. Perhaps I could go in a little bit weaker. And that's just not Dan Hornbuckle's style. We gave him a lot of options. Brad was one of those options, and he immediately took it, and we believed, and he believed, that was the toughest possible opponent that he could get in against. The fight of the night, without any question, just a spectacular back and forth war. You can see both of them gave it everything they had. Great win, just a great win, and way to establish yourself back in terms of being a guy that is going to challenge in our next tournament and then probably work his way back to another fight, conceivably against Van Askren or against Lyman Good, depending on how that comes out. But Dan Hornbuckle, great performance, brother. And Brad searching for the knockout with big shots. Great performance. Thank you for coming out. This is a gentleman you will see again, hopefully, if I can work the right deal with Kenny Pavia to come back and fight for us again very soon. We brought Damian Grabowski in from Poland. We had heard great things about him. We saw his fight against Michael Kita and some others. He was undefeated. He came in as a highly touted prospect out of Europe on the heavyweight front. There weren't a lot of them out there. Scott Barrett was another one, and we expected a very tough fight. We expected great back and forth, and they're both at their best when they're on the ground, and they both showed an awful lot in that fight. Congratulations, Damian. He's going to move on to our semifinals. He'll be fighting again in about a month. And for Scott Barrett, a terrific performance against a very highly touted heavyweight out of Europe. And both guys that I'm looking forward to seeing fight again. And Damian, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the semifinals of our heavyweight tournament as we move on. And then the closing fight from a heavyweight perspective in our tournament, Cole Conrad just keeps winning. And people keep talking to me about where can Cole Conrad go, and at this point, Cole Conrad is going to be an extremely difficult heavyweight for anybody in our tournament to fight. As he continues to progress and his skills continue to round themselves out, you can see the beginning of that stand-up development with Cole Conrad. You saw some great tight shots tonight, which might not have been there 2 fights ago. He is still in the infancy of his mixed martial arts career, but the progression in terms of what he's doing right now is pretty dramatic. We've had a good run at Bellator Fighting Championships with wrestlers. Ben Askren has done extremely well. Joe Warren did pretty well. And now Cole Conrad is doing extremely well in our heavyweight division. So I'm looking forward to seeing Cole take it to the next level, see what he can do against next dominant striker that we put him up against in the heavyweight tournament. And Rogen came here from Spain, is a smaller heavyweight by European standards, is a good size heavyweight by American standards at 230 to 240 pounds, is not a big heavyweight in the game today, but put on a great performance against a guy who is as dominant as anybody is from a wrestling perspective on the ground today. So thanks to both of those guys, and a big congratulations to Cole Conrad. At this point, I'm going to hand the mic over to these guys. I'll give it to Damian and Damian's interpreter just to say a few words, and then to Dan and Cole just to say a few things.